Well, first of all, let's put the pump on, 'cause it's dead easy to do that.
It's in the air, but look at the foot, look at it. There's little slits along the whole line. Oh no! Let's try not, you know, set the thing on fire. There we go. Look at her purr, boys. She loves it, look at her.
Good morning everybody, we are back with the Reliant Rialto. Now, although in the last couple of episodes you would have seen that we've bought the Kawasaki, engine's out, the wiring loom's out, everything's ready to start going in this car. Actually, I want to actually get this running for two reasons. One, because I feel like I want to hear it running, I feel like I want to accomplish doing that and figuring that out. And two, I actually want to sell this car as a, sell the engine as a running engine. Now obviously I want to do that by having a video of it actually running. So we're going to actually get it started and hopefully we're going to have that done today. So I've ordered a new fuel pump. I got it from like a classic car company, I can't remember the name, but someone on the page recommended them and I bought, I think it was 50 quid for the pump. So we're going to install that. And also, since I've put it on the page, I found out some other causes it might be of why it's not getting fuel. So obviously this is like a vacuum pump, sucks up fuel for the tank and then blows it into the engine. Now what I've learned is that sorry I'm talking weird, I had a tooth out a couple of days ago and it's really uncomfortable, but sorry. What I found is that even if there's a split in any of the lines, or if a line's a little bit loose, it will actually suck through air instead of sucking up the fuel. So what we're going to do is we're going to check all the lines going to the fuel tank and make sure any of them aren't loose or like flopping around or actually got a split in them. Well, first of all, let's put the pump on, 'cause it's dead easy to do that. So we've got the old fuel pump here, so it did have a spacer on there. Now apparently I need to reuse this spacer, so I've just literally pulled the spacer off it and we're going to clean it all up. We're going to clean all this silicone up and we're going to reuse this spacer. We've got two new gaskets in the kit, so we're going to clean this up and we're going to put the gasket on top of there, then the spacer, and then another gasket on top of the spacer. So these gaskets are literally welded to the plastic spacer, so I'm trying to just clean it all up. It's taking a while, but it's either that or just stop the video now and order a new one. So I'm going to try and clean it up and see if I don't damage the plastic too much. Okay, so I use a wire wheel just to get the paper gasket off, and then I've got a little bit of 800 grit sandpaper. I've sanded it flat. It's not perfect. It's not going to be as flat as what a new one would be, but with a gasket it'll be fine. So we've got this gasket, then the spacer, and this gasket. We're going to bolt it onto the engine. Don't know how it sits. I don't know how the arm's going to go in to the cam lobe. I don't know if it's going to be easy or it has to be a certain way, or I mean right now it doesn't feel like it wants to go. So the first thing, coming back to cars after working on bikes, which are great to work on, the arm just won't go in. Like the arm, seriously, it just won't go in. I get there's a cam lobe there, but it's just not got. Shit camera. I'm trying turning the engine over. It's just not going in. So, thank you cars for reinstating the fact that you're all shit to work on compared to bikes. So with all the around, I've just split this gasket. Look at the difference in the arms. They're totally different. I've just put the old one back in, see if I'm being stupid, and I'm definitely not. Because look, the old one, line it up, bit of an angle, boom, goes in. Now how hard I try, it's not going in. So after faffing and faffing and faffing, I've managed to get the fuel pump onto the engine, right? But I've had to use a shit ton of sealant. But now, look at this nipple, right? Don't know if you can see it, but the nipple. So I've messaged the guy I bought it off. I'm like, mate, what the hell? Like, nothing fits. He's like, yeah, I know. He's like, this is the only pump you can get a hold of. He said it's made by a specialist. He says he had the same problem fitting his, and he messaged the specialist, and the specialist basically didn't give a shit really. So apparently this is the only pump you can get that's for sale at the minute, and it doesn't fit. So although I've got it now bolted up to the engine, which was an absolute faff, I can't really get my fuel line on because the nipple is touching the block. And annoyingly, because I've used silicone, I can't keep pulling the spacer off and then grinding a bit away the block, because I'm just going to have to keep sealing it. You know what, it was actually fun while it lasted working on bikes, you know, things that work, properly engineered, you know. Now I'm back to shit cars, which nobody knows clearly how to make anything for them. And I'll top it all off. It's raining. Every single time I work on a car, it starts raining. Every single time. Right, there is no way in hell I'm going to get a fuel line on that nipple. So at least I can take the top of the fuel pump off and at least try to, you know, spin this or bend it a tiny little bit, or, I mean, I don't know, but absolute joke, mate. Right, so I just got some vice grips and I've just managed to turn this a little bit. Now that should take it away from the engine block. If it starts raining again, I swear down. No, that's just enough now, so well done, Lee. Especially my arse. Right, I've pushed that fuel line back on. The pump is now pretty much on. So what I'm going to do is, I've just put the battery on, so it's got power. I'm going to crank it and just see if fuel is coming out of there. If obviously the distributor's not on or anything, so it's not going to fire. But I just want to see if it's getting fuel. If this isn't pumping fuel, it has to be something to do with the fuel line. Still no fuel. Still no fuel. So it's got to be something to do with the fuel line. So that was a waste of money buying a pump. Actually, well, this pump is snapped. You can see actually when I took it off, it's actually snapped one of the plastic bits. So we needed a new fuel pump anyway. So it's definitely not that. So what we need to do now is we need to check the fuel lines and see if any of the fuel lines are clogged or split, and therefore not creating a vacuum, therefore not sucking fuel through. All right, let's get it off the floor, get it in the air, and let's try and inspect these fuel lines. I've heard that apparently there's one that's coming off the tank that is usually the culprit, but jacking this thing up, I've just jacked it up, guys, is absolutely terrifying because it just wants to go. Like, it doesn't, like, it's in the air, but look at the foot, look at it. It's literally rocket. So at least it's just got it super high in the air and it just almost tipped. He's trying to tip over. So what I think I've got to do is, I think I've got to push it and then put a jack. The thing is, I can smell fuel. Like, I can massively smell fuel. So I'm guessing I've just got to keep wiggling it side by side. So if I push it, oh no, that's alright. Right, so let's go higher. See, now that side's in the air, so now, oh god, this drop link's not attached. That's a bit bad. And then maybe we push it and then jack it up. Oh my god, what the hell? What's the trick to this? I don't need it too high in the air. I'll just push it and then if I just hold the car up with my hand, that'll do. Okay, so this is the fuel line here. It goes up to the pump and it's just one line where it looks like all the way down, but you can see there's little slits along the whole line. This is just one big fuel line which goes all the way to the top, so we're going to follow it all the way back to the back. We're going to follow it all the way back and just take all this line off. Okay, so we've got a fuel leak on the filler hose. We've got a fuel leak there. That's cracked beyond belief. This one's cracked beyond belief, but that's just a fuel return. It's not too bad. So we need to find where the actual fuel line is. It's probably this one up here, but we need to ideally change it all because that's really bad. So we're just going to take the whole line off. So there's a ton of cable ties which run underneath the car holding it on, so let's just cut them all off and let's just take it apart in pieces. Right, so this is the main fuel line which runs from the middle, well, back of the car to the tank. Well, as you can see, it's not good, obviously. Take all of it off, and if we've got to drop the tank, we've got to drop the tank because we're going to be using this fuel tank with the motorbike engine in. So, well, most probably anyway, if we can make it work. So we're going to need this fixed. What we're going to do is we're going to drop the fuel tank. It looks like there's just two brackets holding the fuel tank on. So there's 13mm here, it looks like a 13, and then a 13mm here as well. And then hopefully the fuel tank should just drop. We got to take off the return line and the filler neck hose, but hopefully there's not
not too much fuel in there. And if we can take off the fuel filler holes a little bit higher up instead of on here, that'll be helpful. There's 2 nuts on either side. There we go, that side was off. That side was tricky because there was a, see where someone's used as a ground, or the wire stuck around them. Okay, there's one more 11mm. Yes, an 11mm on the other side. I cannot get these hoses off. Honestly, I've had a screwdriver in there and everything. Like I honestly just can't. I'm not even trying doing this one, but I'll try to tilt it round like that so the fuel sits over there, and then I'm going to try and get this filler hose off. But honestly, this top one, they've been on here for so long, honestly. Okay, so I've got one fuel line off. I'm going to try and get this one off. You just need to get a screwdriver in there and just try to break the layer of rust and just keep pulling, because it'd be a layer of rust kind of sticking the hose to the tank, and you've got to try to break. See, it's coming now. You've got to try and break that, and ideally break that all the way around. Well, I've got one side in the jack stand, so it is tilted, so all the fuel should be down that side. So hopefully, oh right, okay, perfect, that's off and we're not pissing out fuel. Right, I'm just going to send it and hope it's not that heavy and I can get it out on that angle. So we've got some electrical stuff up here. Oh, the tank, where's the bloody fuel line? Don't tell me it's got an in-tank pump. Has it? Oh, is that a fuel level sensor? So it's got 2 spade connectors. This one here, which was going to a ground, and this goes up there somewhere. So we'll chase that back and see what that's going to. And you got this one here, which is obviously a positive. What is that? Don't tell me that's a pump. Where the hell's this going to? I need to chase that as well. So this, which is underneath the car, comes up here and then goes into what looks like, you know, the main wiring loom. So it's either another fuel pump, or it's the, like a level sensor. So the only thing we're going to fully know is by taking this out of here and having a look. So looking at this, you've got 3 circular bits that stick out and 3 circular bits that stick in. So I'm guessing you spin this until this circular bit is underneath there, and it should just pull out. Bit more. There we go. Right, now what the hell is this? It's just a level sensor. The fuel filter's in there, so there's a little fuel filter. Let's have a look at the state of the tank. I mean, that's fine, there's not really rust in there. When I bend this, all the rubber's cracked. It is actually cracked all the way through. You can see a load of holes in there. So that's not going to be pulling a vacuum. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to just change all the lines. So I'm just going to just run one big fuel line from here all the way to the front. So let's put everything back together. It's nice to know we've cleaned it all up, but that 100% is the issue, has to be. Right, so not only are we going to have to change the fuel lines going from there to there, so I've measured that. We need like 3.5 meters. So if I just get like 5 meters, that should be enough when we come to do the fuel for the Kawasaki engine as well. We also need 2 of these because these are splitting and they're going to fail. So this one's actually leaking fuel, which really isn't good. So we're going to have to get some of these fuel lines as well. A lot of people have said, why don't I just make my own little fuel tank and just gravity feed it into the carb and see if it runs. So we might do that and just see if it runs. I'm pretty sure I'll be able to make something up because I have got some fuel lying around. So I think we're going to try that. Right, so it's probably going to be idling like super high. Not going to leak, have we? No, seems good. It's probably going to be idling super high because I've messed around with all of the oh, there we go, we got fuel. Yeah, because I've messed around with all of the bloody settings for the carb, but oh, I need a battery. Oh, for God's sake. Oh, please. That's alright, that's alright. We've got a bit of a fuel leak. We've got a fuel leak on the carb. Oh, did I unplug that and not put it back in? Shit, hang on. Right, let's just get a crank. Choke on and it's running. Listen. It's running! Oh shit! Is that coolant being pushed out? Yeah, it's cool. I thought it was fuel. Don't worry, it's cool. Shit. Look at the coolant being pushed out. Oh no, it's all inside the car. Don't turn it off. Them fucking coolant lines are just pissing coolant everywhere. Oh no. Get a towel, get a towel. Okay, now I'm not gonna drown the inside of the car. Let's go again. Obviously it's idling high as shit because the carb is not set up. What's it revving to? I don't know, I've not got a dash, but it sounds high. I need to be careful because I did get fuel on the exhaust when it was leaking, so let's try and not, you know, set the thing on fire. It's idling way too high, so we need to wind that off a bit. Let's fire up and see if we can get it idling decent. That's a that needs to go in there. It's a breather. Oh, we'll turn the choke off now. Oh, a bit too early to turn the choke off. There we go. Look at her, boys. She loves it, look at her! Idle's a bit too high. But I can't set the idle with the choke out. Go on, girl! Woohoo! Idling way too high again, but the carb needs fully setting up, but she's running. So I've messaged Hydro Hose. I've used Hydro Hose for all my hoses, all my brake lines and everything in the past. They made the AN10 lines, which I couldn't get anywhere from the S13. So I've messaged them. I said, look guys, I need some fuel lines, and they're going to send me out some fuel lines. So for now, I can't do anything, but we got the Reliant running. It is actually running, which is awesome to see, and I have a video of it running as well on my GoPro. So when I come to sell the engine, I can say it is running. But most probably when them fuel lines come, I'm going to have to put them all anyway. So for the extra time it's going to take just to put that one fuel line from there to the carb, just to have it running, you know, as standard by itself and not holding fuel open and things like that, I may as well just do that. We do definitely need a new vacuum line for the back of the car because it keeps popping out and pissing out fuel, so I'll get one of those as well. Well, I don't really need one, to be fair. I'll just put one on when I sell the engine. So that's me for now, guys. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the series. In the next episode, we're going to be pulling the engine and the gearbox out of the Reliant, and then getting ready to weld some engine mounts up to get the bike engine in there. And I've already got Dan the welder, the one who's helped me out so much. Thank you, Dan. He's on hand, ready to come make some engine mounts up. But for now, I love you all, and we'll see you in the next one.